Hello, welcome to 30 Minutes. I'm Rick Anthony. A while back, my doctor told me I was deconditioned. Then he handed me a prescription for physical therapy. The official definition of deconditioned is a decline of physical function of the body as a result of physical inactivity and/or bed rest or extreme sedentary lifestyle. The definition fit me perfectly. Since I retired, I've been extremely sedentary. I still am, but I'm working on it. A few weeks after, I took the prescription to a local gym that has a special physical therapy unit. First step was an assessment to see what kind of therapy I needed. My profile, including my height, weight, list of medications, medical history, and the diagram of my arthritic body. That was the beginning of a love-hate relationship I've had with physical therapy for over a year. I hate the hour-long workouts, but I love the sense of accomplishment and well-being at the end of each session. The downside is that I walk out of the gym after a full session with rarely used pumped-up muscles that in about an hour look like a blow-up Santa Claus on the front lawn who has lost all its air. A few weeks ago, I asked my physical therapist, Steve Linton, a marvelous specimen, if there was some easy, low-impact routine that, in addition to supervised training, I and other deconditioned people could use to help lose weight and tighten up parts of the body that have been out of warranty for a long time. You know, bad knees, hips, shoulders, and of course, aching backs. And I challenged him. Show me a routine I could use at home when I'm not in the gym, using only a chair. No expensive apparatus that takes up a lot of space and costs a lot of money. Just a chair. With me today is Steve Linton, partner of the Radnor facility of IvyRehab, to demonstrate how to use an ordinary chair to improve one's physical and mental well-being. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you very much, Rick. Happy to be here.
Nice to see you out of the gym.
Yeah, good to see you again. Thanks for having me back.
Thank you. Actually, you were here once before,
Yep.
and we had fun there, and I hope we're going to have fun this time as well. How long have you been at this?
I've been a physical therapist for 11 years at this point. But physical activity overall, I've been doing since I was 14. So the whole idea of working your body, stressing your muscles, trying to gain improvements, whether it's athletic or just simply to feel better, for a quarter decade.
So it's been a way of life?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, mentally, physically, everything.
And you're pretty well toned.
I try to be.
Have you ever competed?
I have.
In the bodybuilding world?
I have. My first semester of PT school, my director of the whole program didn't think I could do it while he was handing out free pizzas and bad food once in a while to the class. But no, I did a men's physique competition in 2011, placed second. My first show was great and just fell in love with the idea of bodybuilding and cutting and just being in great shape. I've done it before, but that took it to a whole new level to see what your body could do. Get down to 4% body fat. I lost 30 pounds within that time frame of fat. So it was a nice way to really push your body and see what can evolve from that hard work.
Mm-hmm. How many people do you think buy the equipment that can cost $500 and up,
Oh yeah.
bring it home, set it up, and then put it on eBay?
It sits there. Or Facebook Marketplace now, right? It happens all the time.
I gave my treadmill to a friend of mine who uses it.
Well, there you go. At least somebody's getting benefit from it.
Yeah, he doesn't look any better, but he uses it.
Yeah, instead of being a clothing rack, right? You know what it is? Everybody sees something that they swear is going to be the one thing that makes a difference, and it's really just a circuit of things you could do to make a difference. So you don't need that one piece of equipment, just a nice routine of something you can do to get yourself better. So you don't need to grab one thing, as long as you know it's going to be beneficial. Find a couple things you like, and then get into a routine that you know you're going to stick with.
Uh-huh. And in the gym, in the center, you talk about muscle fatigue,
Right.
and feeling it,
Right.
the number of reps and so on. But you also are said to be cautious that you don't get to a point where you're really in pain.
Right.
Which I am many times because I have bad shoulders, bad knees, and so on.
Sure.
I have to govern myself, learn to govern myself to do that.
Right. Yeah, I think it's important. I think that when people have pain, there's obviously issues that you need to be addressed, whether it's physical therapy or a medical doctor, or somebody needs to look and see why you're having pain. But besides that, for regular physical activity, it shouldn't be painful. You should have available range to do the motion you want. You should have the resistance within that available range that feels appropriate. So you should feel tired from it. When I say fatigue, your muscles should feel like it's working, and you should feel tired. I have trouble doing a couple more reps. Keep that form appropriate, and you're good. But the minute you do too many, and man, this hurts really bad. And hurting muscle-wise, sure. But if there's a pain, a problem pain, that's when you have to know, let me just consult with somebody like myself and say, hey, Steve, this is bothering me, or is this a problem?
Yeah.
Should I be doing this? People ask in the gym all the time. They stop in, hey, Steve, check this out. And we'll make sure that it's something that they should be
It
doing.
is an interesting phenomenon because when I'm finished my hour, I'm really pumped up.
You're feeling
And I
good.
feel like Superman.
That's awesome.
And I said, no. Then as I said, about an hour later, I feel completely deflated, back to my old self.
You know, it's funny, you're not the only person, right? Like everybody, even people without pain and issues, go to the gym and they feel phenomenal. You get that pump, the muscle, the blood's rushing. You're like, oh my God, look in the mirror. I feel great. Then you get home,
I
you're
don't
like,
look in the mirror. I'm not that.
oh, well, I'll look in the
far.
mirror. Like once in a while, you got to check out what you're working with, right? So you got to work, see what you're doing, and get yourself excited. And then you get home and everything kind of gets moving, deflated.
Yeah.
But you have to realize that it's that consistency that'll eventually get you to that thing that you see or the way that you feel. It's not that one day. And it might even not be that 1 week or that 2 weeks. It's going to be that 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. And you're going to start feeling the way you felt that day in the gym more consistently.
Yeah.
But it's a nice feeling.
Okay, the challenge. Show me, demonstrate for our audience
Okay.
a routine using only a chair and some stretch bands
Okay. I can do that.
that you brought from the studio, the gym.
We can
Okay?
definitely do that. I'm up
Okay.
to the challenge. Let's do it.
You're up.
All right. Here we go. Hey guys, so in this segment, we're gonna go through some stretches and strengthening exercises that are important that you could simply do without any fancy equipment, without a fancy gym, just simply with a chair and some TheraBand. Now, TheraBands, I'm sure everybody's seen them before all over the internet. They're just extra bands with different resistances. The different colors represent different resistances, so normally the lighter color is a little bit lighter, the darker color gets a little bit heavier. So as you're doing these exercises, feel free to choose. If something's too easy, feel free to bump up to the next resistance. Just make sure your form is appropriate with all the different exercises that we're gonna go through here today. Stretching exercises, you can use simply any kind of strap, a band. If you have a leash, if you have a pet at home, you can use a leash, but we'll demonstrate a little bit of that here as well. So I would like to start off with some of the stretches. I think it's always good to get moving prior to doing any kind of strengthening exercise. If you guys also, cardio is also important. So if you want to walk around and warm up your body too, if you're able to walk, if balance issues aren't an issue, go ahead and walk around a little bit to get warmed up. But we'll start with some of the stretching exercises that I think are beneficial. And this is going to be whole body. So we're going to start off with just core rotation. Simply sitting in your chair, whether you have arms rest or not, and twisting your body to the side. And we're going to hold these for about 5 seconds each. So just reaching to the side as far as you can. You can grip this other side of the chair, rotate through, and holding your stretch. And you should feel this along your lumbar spine, which is the lower part of your spine. You should feel along your thoracic, and if you twist your head, you're gonna feel a little bit in the cervical as well. So your whole spine should feel these stretches. Like I said, holding for 5 seconds, then back, and then rotating through. Now, obviously, as we go through these, you guys can take screenshots of the form and then increase the time in which you're going to do all of these. So I would say do that 10 times, 5 seconds to each side. The next one we're going to do is an upper trap stretch. So in your neck, somebody sits down for a long period of time, it will feel that tension. You're going to grab the chair to your side here. Just give it a little bit of lean so it pulls down on the shoulder. You're going to grab your head while you're still facing forward and pull your head down to the side. These we're going to hold a little bit longer for 30 seconds. So we're going to do it 4 times to each side. Now we're going to obviously speed up to 30 seconds. Then we'll grab with the other hand here. We're going to lean over to this side slightly and pulling your head down. Once again, if you notice my head is still facing towards you, it's not turning to either side as we do this one. So this is for the upper trap that goes from this area of your back up into the back of your skull here. Okay? The next one is called the levator scap stretch. So that's another one. We're going to take this one arm behind your back. If for some reason you can't reach behind your back, you can still grab the side of the chair. But I'm going to put my arm behind my back. The side you're stretching is the side you're going to reach to and go forward towards your armpit. So you should feel that stretch on the side of your arm behind your head, and then looking towards the opposite side, towards your armpit. And once again, like we talked about in the upper trap stretch, 30 seconds, 4 times. The next one I want to go through is hand behind the head. A lot of people have forward head posture. I'm sure we could all relate, some rounded shoulders. We really want to work on getting that extension back and that normal curvature back in your cervical spine. So you're going to grab your hand just behind your head here and looking up towards the ceiling. So you're just giving yourself some support to your head, grabbing the middle of your neck here and just pulling forward and then lifting upwards. And these can be done at the same frequency we talked about for the first core rotation, about 5-second holds. And we're going to do this 10 times. So once again, grabbing through the middle of your neck here, pulling forward, giving you some support, and pulling forward, helping to work on that normal curvature of that cervical spine that you should have. Flat necks are not normal, forward head posture is not normal, so if you have it, these are the key things you want to do to work on it. Hamstring stretch. You can grab a strap. Now, like I said, you would rather use a leash or something that doesn't bend, but I want to show you just 'cause I have the TheraBand in my hand. So, you'll put this around your foot. You want to scoot towards the edge of the chair. Chest up, and you want to lean forward. I'm not concerned about you rounding out and going forward as you do this. So chest up, leaning forward. You could pull that strap. You want to get a little bit extra stretch in the lower leg. Lean forward, and once again, we're going to hold these for 30 seconds, and we're going to do this 4 times. And then you could obviously switch legs, opposite side, through here, grabbing the opposite side, leg out, chest up, and then once again, leaning forward. You want to feel that stretch in the back of your upper leg going towards the buttocks on that side. The next one, piriformis stretch. This is another muscle in your buttocks. You're going to put this leg up towards the opposite side. You're going to take your hand here and try to pull towards the opposite shoulder. And once again, you should feel that stretch coming right through here. So once again, from the side angle, leg up here, grab your knee with this hand, pull over towards your left shoulder, or if it's the opposite side, you're going to pull over towards your right shoulder. We're going to hold these for 30 seconds, 4 times as well. Next one is the adductor stretch. Very simple, just going into here and just pushing out. There's ways you can do this standing, but I would like to do this in seated as well for somebody that has standing deficits. So simply just pulling out. I'm not the most flexible person. There's other people who do this more, there's people who do this less. So just pushing out and getting a nice stretch. You want to feel that kind of coming into the middle leg, into your groin here on either side. And once again, you can kind of just sit here 30 seconds, 4 times. Now, if 30 seconds for any of these stretches is too uncomfortable to hold for that long, you can do 10 seconds, 10 times, but I like the 30 seconds, 4 times if you can tolerate it. Half lunge stretch, I'll show you once we get to some of our standing exercises. And the last stretch I want to work on is cervical extension with a strap, and also working on chest opening. So you're gonna put your hands behind your head for this one, and pulling your chest up and bringing your elbows back. So once again, we talk about that forward head posture, those rounded shoulders. This is important to really open that up and take some of that pressure off your neck and off your upper back. And these can be done multiple times a day, guys. As long as you're not too aggressive, just pull to the point where you're tight a little bit more, and then you're all set holding at that position. Now, let's get to some of the upper body strengthening exercises. So we're gonna work on rotating chest press. So we're gonna take one of our bands. Once again, choose whatever band you feel is important and resistance for you. You can do this in multiple ways. The band is simply just behind my back. Nothing too intricate about this. Sitting here, good posture, bring your back off the back edge of the chair, and you're gonna press forward with both hands. And you really wanna squeeze your chest. That's what we're working on here. You can rotate if you want to and press alternating, or you can just do both and squeeze for 2 seconds, hold, come back. You can even just tighten up by pulling the band with less tension or more tension and pulling forward, and that'll give you more resistance instead of going up to the higher band. The next one, sitting on a band. So we'll put it under our glutes here, holding the band of your shoulders, and now pressing up. So now we're working on our deltoids and also the deeper muscles of our shoulder called the rotator cuff muscles. A lot of times they're underdeveloped. People have issues in their rotator cuff. I'm sure you know somebody that's torn a rotator cuff or has a strain or something. So this is another one that would be important for overhead activity and for building strength in those areas. So nice and tall and coming down nice and controlled. We're gonna do most of these exercises for 3 sets till fatigue. So get to the point where you feel like your muscle's working, then take a little break for about a minute, and then go ahead and go again. Another one I wanna do is shoulder flexion and abduction. So we're gonna take the band, place it under our feet, and now we're just gonna go straight from our arms down to our sides and pulling upwards. Now, if you can go decently high over your shoulder, that's fine. If you're restricted in range of motion for whatever reason, you can only get to here, work within the pain-free range. You should not have pain while doing these. These should be fatiguing, but not painful. If you have pain, come talk to me. Now out to your sides. We're talking about abduction, same thing. Thumbs up, coming up to your side here. And if you can tolerate it, going all the way up above your head. If you can't, go to where you feel comfortable. Once again, 3 sets till fatigue. Next one's gonna be called open books. So I'm gonna have you twist in your chair. Both hands are gonna be out, holding the bands here with some tension. And you're gonna keep your side that's next to the wall or the chair fixed, and you're gonna open up, rotating outward, so you're working on your thoracic mobility, upper body, and pulling, so you're gonna feel this in your opposite shoulder as well, and all of your upper back. Try not to open up your lower body as you do this. So you want to fix your lower body where it is and rotate with just your upper body here and coming through. And then obviously we can do the same thing in the opposite direction. So holding here, arms out to your side, and rotating open. The goal is obviously to get all the way across. I don't know many people that can, it's pretty hard, but we can all have goals to get there. Okay. The next one is gonna be standing. Once again, with the band under your feet, you're gonna give a little bend over for this one. And I wanna think about pouring out a gallon of water with your hands. You're coming up with your pinky. You're gonna go here and pull upwards towards the ceiling. You wanna feel this in the back part of your shoulder or your rear delt. So thumbs down, leading with your pinkies up towards the ceiling and pulling. If you do it in standing, this is just shoulder abduction that we talked about before. So make sure you're leaning forward and you pull and get that contraction in the back of your shoulder here. I'm already feeling this. Bicep curls. So once again, we can keep it under our feet, arms straight. Everybody's familiar with some of these. Just pulling up, elbows fixed to your side, bending. You should feel this in your biceps brachii and your upper arm. So coming here, just contracting. All right, another one. Band under feet, we're gonna do back extensions. So this is working a little bit of the low back, a little bit of the upper back. So once again, if you put the band under your feet here and bring this to your chest. So you're gonna start with a lot of tension when you're bent over here and you're gonna keep this fixed to your chest. And just gonna extend upwards and back towards that chair and then back. Here you should have very little resistance. Obviously you're getting more resistance here. You wanna engage your core and you're gonna feel this along your whole low back. All right. Next one is gonna be bent over rows. So this one, once again, you're gonna be bent over. Your hands are now gonna be to the sides of your legs. And you're simply gonna row backwards, bringing your elbows back and squeezing the scapula or your shoulder blades together. So right through here, squeezing back. Just hold for a second. None of this needs to be rushed. Everything is nice and controlled. Really focus on form. We're not shrugging our shoulders, we're just bringing our elbows down and back. One more time, elbows back. Squeeze the shoulder blades down and back, pause, and come back. That nice control motion, you're gonna feel a lot more than if you're rushing through these activities. The next one's gonna be a tricep press. Place that band right over your shoulders, and now grabbing it higher if you can, lower if you need to if there's too much resistance, and just pulling down to your sides. You're gonna feel this in your triceps on the back part of your arm on both arms. You can do single arm with any of these bicep or tricep curls, or you can do double arm pushing down. So coming here, pushing down nice and controlled. And like you said, I'm not rushing through this. I'm going controlled on the way down and also controlled on the way back up. So for all these motions, keep that in mind. Core rotation is another one. So you can put this around one of your legs. If you happen to have something that you can fix the band to, so for rows, for example, if you have a banister in front of you want to use, great, you can use that. But for this purposes, I want to make sure you can do everything you can just in this chair. So for core rotations, once you spread your legs out a little bit, you're going to put the band just around one of your legs here. Bring your hands together and you're gonna rotate towards the opposite side. And once again, if it needs to be a little tighter and closer to your hand to get more resistance, this will do the work. Trust me, I don't know if you see the sweat beads coming down the head already. But going through, rotate, and then now we're gonna do it in the opposite direction. I thought Rick was the only one I was putting through a workout today. So here, same thing, just band around your leg, separate your legs, and you're gonna rotate towards the opposite way. Keep it all even. Go until fatigue and rotate. Try not to lean too much as you do this. Just simply try to rotate while keeping your body in this posture here. So just rotating through with your hands out. If you need to and it's too hard, you want to bring your hands a little closer to your body, that's another way of bringing down the resistance a little bit. All right, so now we're gonna do a couple exercises where we're gonna vary from up and down. Now we're talking about more lower extremity and legs. So the first stretch I wanted to show you guys was a hip flexor stretch. So you can go next to your chair. Now, once again, I want to preface this with, once you're standing, make sure you have no falls risk or balance issues, that you feel comfortable standing and you're in a secure area. Half lunge hip flexor stretch. People with forward posture tend to be very tight in the hip flexors. So you're gonna hold here. This leg will just kind of come forward while this leg stays generally straight. This foot does not have to stay on the ground, and you're gonna feel a stretch in the front of your hip. Now let me show you from the side angle here. So if we're holding our chair here, hold the chair for balance. One leg will be forward, one leg will be back. This leg is just gonna start going forward here and you're gonna feel a stretch in the front of this leg. Try not to lean forward as you do this. Keep yourself nice and upright and you will feel that stretch in the front of this leg. All right, so now into strengthening exercises. You could simply do, for working your legs, you could do sit to stands. So simply just getting up, shifting forward to the front of the chair, standing up, and sitting down. Now everybody does this day to day. This is the equivalent of squats. People are always saying that doctors say avoid squats or avoid squatting, but squatting motions are done when you go to the toilet, when you get up and down from a chair, when you get in and out of a car. It is functional, it's important, you need to practice it. So just simply standing, going up, come down, tap the seat if you can, and come back up so the resistance is on your legs at all times. If you find this easy and need a little bit more of a challenge, take that same TheraBand we're talking about, put it under your feet. Hold it at your chest like we did for the back extensions, and now you're gonna do the same thing. Tap the chair, come back up, and you're adding more resistance to this. And trust me, going till fatigue, this will be a great workout for you. Single leg knee to chest. So I'm gonna take a band here. You can either loop your bands, tie them in a loop, or you can keep them straight. So now we're gonna put this around your feet here. Single knee to chest. If you guys notice some of my, there you go, perfect. And you're gonna bring this towards your chest. And you're squeezing your lower abdominals, control, bring it in. And you're also working the hip flexor muscle here as well. So nice and controlled, squeeze, and then come back down. And then you could alternate. Keep that other leg down, bring it up, control. Go within the range once again that you feel pain-free and that you're comfortable. All right. Hip abduction pillow squeezes. You can literally find any cushion, pillow in your house, or even just use your hands if you want. You want to work on those adductor muscles that we talked about in your legs, and you work on squeezing in as hard as you can. So this is the motion that I'm looking to get, but obviously there's resistance here. So my hands will be the resistance, and I'm pushing in as hard as we can. And you're gonna hold for a couple seconds, come back out, then resist again, and then relax. So that's your hip adduction squeezes. The next one's gonna be standing heel raises. So, with or without the band, you're gonna turn that chair. You can put this around your feet, put it around the balls of your feet. You're gonna hold onto that chair and you're gonna raise those heels up. And this is giving you just extra resistance to it, or you can simply, even without the resistance, just come on up onto those toes and back. So just so this gets out of your way, just raising up. If you guys are great, balance is good, and you wanna try one leg and raise up, as long as you're safe and comfortable, there you go. And just hold a little pause and back. So there's our heel raises. Standing 3 ways. You're gonna put this around your ankles. You're gonna stand next to your chair, and you're gonna take your hip in 3 different directions. So you're gonna go forward while fixing one leg that's next to the chair. One leg is gonna go forward, squeeze, out to your side, squeeze, and then straight back. And you squeeze. If you notice, I'm trying not to have my trunk move too much. I'm not leaning forward, I'm not leaning to the side or back. I'm trying to keep myself fixed, come forward, out to the side, and straight back. And once again, you can do sets of that either side until fatigue. The next one's gonna be banded ankle and hip external rotation, internal rotation. So the band is gonna be at your ankles. And we're gonna just pull this leg out to the side and then back. If you have good balance and you want to try both at the same time, feel free, but that's a little tougher. So just pick the one leg, keep your top leg where it is in the femur, and rotating at the hip. Same thing for the opposite side, pulling there, back in. Now, internal rotation, the opposite direction. You're gonna put that around one of your ankles. You're just gonna hold it out to the side and simply rotating your ankle inward. Might even help if you fix it under your foot a little bit. So here, and just rotating the hip in. Once again, the femur stays straight and the leg comes inward like you're trying to look at the bottom of your shoe for something. All right. The next one, split leg lunges. Holding onto the chair in that same hip flexor stretch position. We're gonna get through here, and we're gonna go straight from here and drop the back leg. So down towards the floor, pressure up. You want to put most of the force through this front leg, using the chair for balance, pressing down, and come back up. Only go as low as you feel you can tolerate. If you can go all the way down to the floor, tap it, great. If you can't, go halfway, wherever you feel comfortable. All right, hip abduction with a band around your knees. You can take that same band, you keep it looped, or you can just keep it straight, tie it around here, hold it here, and push your hips out. And hold. Squeeze, control, hold, and control. All right, a couple more. Leg extensions with the band. So we're gonna put this around your foot here, This will be the foot we're working, we'll put it around the ankle. The other one's gonna go in and just step on it. And you're gonna bring this back so they're aligned with each other. And all you're gonna do is extend this leg out and then back. And extend and back. Helps if you put it around a sock because it has better grip than just right on your skin. And it's a little more comfortable as well. And then same thing for hamstring curls. So you can do this in standing or you can do this seated, but I feel like there's more resistance in standing. So you'll be here. The band will be under the one foot, and all you're gonna do is curl up with the other. Now just so it's closer to the camera, I'm gonna step on the right one, put this around my left ankle, and just pull up. And you're gonna feel that immediately in your hamstring. Back down, back up, squeeze, and then control. All right. That is a complete exercise program. Mix up the time and frames in which you do it. You can do some stretches each day, and I would vary up between the upper body and lower body. Pick 4 or 5 things you want to do. 30 minutes will be fantastic, and give yourself a nice workout with these programs right in a chair.
Steve, that was great. That was terrific.
I'm glad you liked it.
I learned a lot, and I thought I knew a lot from the studio, but I learned a lot.
And I got a sweat.
And you worked up a sweat.
I worked up a sweat a little bit.
The hot lights will do that.
That's
the hot
true.
lights will do that. Why are those kinds of exercises particularly suited for seniors,
Sure.
a la myself, but also for other people who have difficulty doing any kind of exercise because of arthritic pain, arthritic joints, hands, and so on? Those look relatively easy.
They're not though. I mean, it's all about the resistance you're giving to it and how often you're doing it. So if you're getting to a fatigue level, nothing's easy because you are fatiguing that body by doing it. So every one of those exercises that we talked about, you will get a great workout in. And honestly, you could take 30 minutes and do just the upper body part and go to fatigue. You could take 30 minutes just do the lower body part. And it's great because you're staying within a range that, like I talked about, is pain-free. You're engaging muscles that you need to in order to support those joints. So when people have arthritic knees, arthritic shoulders, low back issues, a lot of times, if you don't have musculature to support these joints, all you're doing is putting compression through that joint. So now you're feeling that disc pain. You're feeling that nerve innervation that's giving you a problem and translating down your leg or through your arms. You're feeling that knee pain. If there's weakness in your hips, if you notice, guys, when you're at home, going up and down stairs, do your knees cave in? When you squat and sit down in a chair, do your knees cave in or do you feel unsteady when you go up and down stairs? That's the strength of your hips and your legs to control that motion. When you go to lift something up in the air, can you stabilize it when you reach up here? That's a strength issue. And if you don't have it, now you're putting too many forces through your joints. So to avoid, you can't stop arthritis, right? But you can slow down the forces on a joint. And by building up your strength, proper nutrition, you can help yourself live a more healthy lifestyle, feel better with a better quality of life with exercise. Stretching is going to be important as well, because even in the stretching aspect, you can elongate tissue, but how do I make that tissue thicker? How do I make it stronger? And that's a strengthening aspect. So getting better flexibility to build up that kinetic energy to have more power, and then building that strength through strengthening exercises in order to make sure now you can move more fluidly. So now you're going to notice things like going down to the floor to pick up a grandchild or picking up something off the floor is easier because you have better flexibility, but now you have strength in that new range that you didn't have before. So you'll notice that you can do things better because you're more flexible, and now you have more strength in that task you're doing because now you have more strength. It all goes hand in hand.
Those stretch bands that you were using, where do people get those?
Amazon, they even sell them sometimes at your local pharmacies. Like they're just TheraBand. There's multiple different versions of it, name brands, but essentially they're just bands with resistance. Buy any brand you want. The only difference is sometimes they're latex free or latex. If you have a latex allergy, that's something to consider. But otherwise, lighter color means lighter, darker color means harder. So that's it. Just go online and find ones that fit. You can normally buy a pack of them, like I just brought there. So yellow, red, green, blue, gray. Buy a pack for $20 on Amazon, $15 on Amazon, or at your local store, and there you go.
Are there certain workout exercises you did a whole bunch of them, that are kind of basic? Particularly,
I don't love the word basic.
Let me qualify that a little
Sure.
bit. I have a bad back.
Sure.
And I get shots and everything else. But what they've told me for years is the best remedy is to build up your stomach, your torso.
Yes.
And take the weight off, the stress off your back.
Yes. And make sure alignment's appropriate. Yes. So you're saying is the exercise, are there some that are too basic? I mean, think about it. If the basic is what you need in order to make sure you don't have pain, Who cares if it's basic or not? You know what I mean? Everything wants to start with engagement and appropriate engagement. So when you're doing an exercise for your back, it might seem basic, but if you can't engage those muscles properly in your core and your transverse abdominis to support your body as you do these other things, then we shouldn't be progressing to something more advanced.
So which of the exercises you did is best to build the front of your body to help the back of your body?
Well, so when I say core, I'm thinking about everything wrapping around here. So we're thinking about your abdominals, your low back, your glutes. It's almost like your core of your body. Because you have this in control, everything else fits properly. So we're talking about the core twist. We were talking about the one where we were saying the single kneaded chest with the band around your ankles. Talking about the split leg lunges. The hip external internal rotation ones. We could even, I didn't even add this in, but if you have a banister behind you or something and you could hold the bands here and work on pulling down, now you're getting some abdominal curls. There are other things, and there's even so many more things you can do that are specific, like planks, side planks. But once in a while, these are now getting more advanced, because can you engage these muscles appropriately at a more basic level, like you talked about, and then you could advance to a plank and other motions that come a little more functional to activity. These were specific a little bit more to somebody maybe that might have balance issues, so a chair is more appropriate. But as you get stronger, you'll notice those balance issues hopefully should be less. And you could challenge yourself with more foam pads and other things to challenge yourself, and then you get more and more advanced. So no, I don't think there's anything basic as long as you're doing something that's appropriate, and then you can progress it.
Do you recommend light weights at home?
Yeah, I mean, what's appropriate? Once again,
dumbbells
right? Dumbbells, light kettlebells. There are weights you can buy that interchange with maybe like some metal rods in a sleeve that can hold. There's all different types of variations. You could use a water bottle. A water bottle weighs a pound. You could do that multiple times. Walk with that in your arms. That's resistance. So yeah, you want to start with what feels comfortable and do enough reps till your muscles work. And then once you feel like I have to do 30, 40 reps till I feel the fatigue, great. Now add another pound. Add another 2 pounds. Now try to do it. Oh, now I feel that at 20 reps. Okay, cool. And then do that till you feel like I could do a little more. Great, now let's up the weight. And this is how you get stronger. You're doing it, you're challenging yourself. You don't need to go from I've never done this to let me grab the 20-pound dumbbells, because that's when you come, now you have a script for physical therapy because you hurt yourself. So make it appropriate, slow progression, but appropriate. And making sure that you feel the right way and you're doing it the right way and you're getting stronger before you just make any big jumps.
You mentioned 30 minutes a day. How many days a week? Can you do it 3 times a week? Is that enough?
You can do it 3 times a week. I mean,
is that enough?
The American Heart Association talks about doing cardiovascular fitness 30 minutes every single day with strength training. So 5 days a week, sorry, not every single day, 5 days a week, and strength training at least 3 times a week. So when you talk about health, National Institute of Health, basic recommendations are cardio equipment, cardio, some kind of activity, getting your heart rate up, 5 days a week, 30 minutes, and then at least 3 days of strength training. So if you want to mix upper body and lower body, each day is a great move. If you want to do just upper body one day, the lower body the next day, that's good too. You just have to find out what kind of works for your style.
That sounds like a guideline for younger people.
No, it's a guideline for everybody. I think that anybody getting up and moving, think how important it is to just move. How many times do you sit anywhere for a long period of time and you feel stiff?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why sit longer? You're just gonna get more and more stiff. Those muscles are gonna get shorter and shorter, and you're not gonna activate. And then now when you try to get up and do activity, you're gonna be in pain. You're gonna hurt. So if you're getting up every single day and moving, what's 30 minutes out of how many hours you're up per day if you're able to do it? You know what I mean? Find a reason why you can't move for 30 minutes.
It's called willpower.
It's willpower, 100%. But you gotta have a goal in front of you too. So I tell people, write their goals down, maybe put it by your front door. So every day when you walk out of your house, there's a goal you have to hit. I want to trip, I want to go on, or something, you know?
Yeah. But I have a memory problem now, so I forget to look.
That's when we call you and say, hey, Rick, are you coming? And there you go, and there's your reminder. But maybe you need a workout partner is huge too, whether it's virtual or in person. Hey, I'm gonna meet John at the gym. John's gonna call me, I'm gonna call him, and we're gonna go. Hey, I'm gonna meet, Vanessa, whatever, whoever your partner is, you can meet them, they can hold you accountable, you tell your friends your goals, and now you're keeping yourself to other people, accountable to other people too. They're keeping asking you about how your goals are. Did you lose that 5 pounds you want? Are you going on that trip? How's your knee pain feel? It keeps you working because you know you're gonna hear those friends asking and you're gonna work hard towards it.
Tell me about silver sneakers. Years ago, friends of mine who were about my vintage, I mean, they would go to a gym and they said, we go with silver sneakers. And so I checked with, I guess at the time, my insurance company. And they said, no, we don't have that as a benefit. It's not a Medicare benefit, right?
It's a
supplement.
It's a supplemental public benefit. Normally it's under Medicare and Medicaid. Normally publicly, federal funded programs have silver sneakers. You can ask most of your insurance companies, they may even have another type of thing like a Silver Sneakers. Essentially, Silver Sneakers is a program that the insurance company will pay for because they know that preventative medicine is important and they know exercise and movement is important. So by them paying a small fee every time you check into a gym, you get a card, you sign up for it through your insurance, you get a little card, you scan it in at that gym, and AFC Fitness where we are, you walk right in, it takes you 5 minutes to get set up with this. They'll give you a card, you scan in, there you go. Costs you nothing, your insurance pays for it every time you go in. What their hopes are is that you consistently go and they're gonna pay less on the back end for all the medical problems you're gonna have by not being physically active.
I'm still confused though. Is it a Medicare benefit or is it a benefit under, in my case, Humana? Which I have as a supplement.
And like you said they didn't have it in Humana. So really I think the best benefit, it's normally my Medicare patient, my Medicaid patients can get it. But what I would say is your best bet is just call your insurance. Hey, do you have Silver Sneakers or am I appropriate for Silver Sneakers? If this is something in your benefit, it takes 2 seconds to sign up for. And there are other insurances that have other things like Silver Sneakers. So I think you just need to find your Silver Sneakers or Silver Sneakers equivalent in order to have your company pay for the gym. And there are some that'll maybe give you a discount towards the gym. But most of my geriatric patients, my older vintage patients, will have that Silver Sneakers benefit that they can go into the gym. And it also works in a physical therapy clinic. It works in regular gyms. It really just depends on the setup of the facility too. But that is a benefit that you can utilize.
And I can walk into any gym, or does that gym have to accept Silver Sneakers?
The gym would have to accept Silver Sneakers, but a lot of gyms do. YMCA's.
They get it's a discounted rate.
It's a free rate.
No, free to me.
Sure.
But to the provider,
it's basically a fee every time you come into the gym. So essentially, it's free to you, and the insurance company will pay a certain dollar amount every time you check in. So if you check in no times that month, they don't have to pay. But if you check in 100 times that month and you've gone 3 times a week, 3 times a day for every single day, they'll pay every single time you check in. Or probably per day, to be honest. So it's probably a fee per day every time you check in, and they'll pay for it.
I've been in physical therapy now for about 1.5 years. And I hate it. I love it.
We love you too.
But I hate it. I don't hate you.
No, I got you.
You understand what
It's a process. Yeah. It's a process.
Now, when do I graduate?
Well, so the average person, when you talk about graduation, it's really about what are your goals, right? So like whether it's being pain-free or whether it's getting to a certain functional activity that you want to be able to do. Do I have the range of motion to allow me to do this? Or can I be pain-free in order to do this? Do I want to go back to work? So it's really about sitting down that first time in your initial evaluation and saying, what are your goals? What do you want to get back to? Are you pain-free? Are you independent enough with your program? If you get to a point where, let's say you hit a wall, and you've worked out for a long period of time, you've strengthened, you're learning new things, and like, all right, I'm independent now, I think I could do this on my own. Our job is to wean you off of it too. So get you to a point where you are independent, and then now you feel comfortable. And the great thing about our facility is, in the gym, we're right there. So you're comfortable enough, and you've used it, to know that you can go to these equipment and you know how to use it. You've been there, you've done that. So now you can be on your own and just touch base with me in a month or two and let me know how good you're feeling. So yeah, there's some independence to it, and really just about what your goals are.
And I guess you can switch. You can leave physical therapy, go into the regular gym with Silver Sneakers, and then if I feel I need a refresher or something, come back in. Well, then I'd have to get another script.
So it all depends.
My doctor.
So Medicare and Medicaid, there's no ability to just come right in without a script. We can do an evaluation, but we can't continue to treat without a script. But there are therapists like myself who have a direct access license, so most people can just walk right in and say, hey, I'm having a problem, I can evaluate you. And even yourself with Medicare, I can evaluate you. I just can't continue to treat you without a script, but at least I can give you an idea of what I think is going on, have a conversation, then I can talk to your doctor, you can talk to your doctor, we can get a script and get you taken care of, and get you on the right track.
Well, this has been very informative.
I'm glad. We want to go work out after this?
Tomorrow. Maybe.
All right, sounds good. Good. Thank you for having me again.
Steve Linton, who is a partner in the Radnor office of IvyRehab. Until next time, I'm Rick Anthony. Take very good care of yourselves. Exercise.